Bem, amigos da Xbox Live, estamos ao vivo na Twitch e no YouTube para cobrir o primeiro grande evento do Xbox
Play it day one with Game Pass.
em 2024. Boa tarde a todos. Eu tô no canal da IGN, mas quando começar o evento eu vou pro canal da Xbox Brasil, que eu acho que vai estar legendado. Boa tarde aí o pessoal que tá na Twitch, muito obrigado aí a todo mundo que tá renovando o Prime. Pessoal do YouTube aí, obrigado pela companhia. Valeu você aí que escolheu assistir essa live comigo. Eu tô evitando de falar sobre Xbox aqui no canal porque fanboy de Xbox é a raça mais podre que tem da face da terra. O fanboy brasileiro é a coisa... O fanboy brasileiro de Xbox, especificamente, é a coisa mais esdrúxula, mais podre que tem. Eu não quero ficar me estressando, não. Eu tenho priorizado fazer as coisas que eu gosto, jogar o que eu quero. Eu não quero ficar me envolvendo em polêmica.
This year we got to announce 33 Immortals from Thunder Lotus, and I'm here now with Stefan and Will to walk through a demo of the game, which I've never played before.
Valeu,
We have 33 people online, incredibly excited about this. So we're going to jump in?
All right, let's jump in and start playing.
33 Immortals is a co-op action roguelike for 33 players. You play a damned soul, must rebel.
Nós temos um evento hoje que parece ser bastante promissor, não só para esse ano do Xbox, mas o futuro do Xbox, e não sabemos ainda se é o futuro que vai continuar os consoles ou se vai focar apenas em serviço. Uma coisa que eu vinha falando aqui no canal, eu até parei porque, né, como eu falei aqui, eu não vou ficar batendo palma pra palhaço dançar, né, velho? Vou baixar um pouquinho o volume aqui da live pra eu poder falar. Por enquanto, quando começar eu volto com o volume normal. Mas uma coisa que eu venho falando aqui nos últimos anos no canal, que a Microsoft estava deixando de focar no console, nos consoles, até porque o console dá prejuízo. E o movimento da Microsoft aparentemente é uma coisa meio Netflix, a intenção da Netflix comparado com a Blockbuster. A Blockbuster antigamente alugava filmes. A Netflix veio com a proposta da assinatura, o Xbox. A Blockbuster do Xbox seria os consoles da marca Xbox e a Netflix seria o Game Pass. Só que com o Game Pass e com esse alto investimento que a Microsoft vem fazendo no Game Pass, essa aposta total no Game Pass, não só nos consoles, que eu não sei até quando vão durar, da marca Xbox. Eu espero que continue, porque eu prefiro ter o console, mas o foco da Microsoft parece ser no público casual, quantidade versus qualidade. Assim o que acontece no Game Pass também. Muita coisa, às vezes de qualidade duvidosa. A gente viu uma franquia como Forza, que estávamos mal acostumados a sempre ter um game nota 9, saiu o último Forza Motorsport, seria o Motorsport 8. O último Forza, né, que deu um reboot na franquia, extremamente criticado, extremamente bugado no PC. Eu achei o último Forza, a franquia Motorsport, bastante decepcionante. O Starfield também com muito problema. Então, complicado, né, cara? Gostar de Xbox hoje é algo bem complicado. E agora tem o assunto Eneba também, né, cara? Eu vejo muita gente aí, principalmente no Twitter, comemorando o Eneba e tal. Eu não tenho nada contra o Eneba. Eu acho que as pessoas devem comprar os seus jogos aonde achar melhor, mas infelizmente, de uma certa forma, acaba prejudicando o mercado nacional em questão de números, né? A Microsoft vê que está vendendo muito aqui na Argentina e não está vendendo quase nada no Brasil. Eu acredito que, vamos botar aí que de 30% a 40% das pessoas comprem no Eneba. Ainda não popularizou tanto assim. Tá se tornando popular, o pessoal tá divulgando muito o Eneba. E, infelizmente, isso vai acabar refletindo na forma que a Microsoft vê o Brasil, né? Não tô aqui julgando se você compra no Eneba. Eu nunca comprei no Eneba, mas eu fiquei muito tentado de comprar o Baldur's Gate no Eneba, que estava num preço excepcional. Mas, infelizmente, acaba prejudicando. A longo prazo vai acabar prejudicando. Assim como o fim das mídias físicas no Brasil, né? Até porque 75% do mercado dos usuários dos Xbox Series é do Series S, então não tem leitor. Acho que no Brasil esse número deve ser até superior, né? Se 75% do mercado total do mundial comprou o Series S, no Brasil esse número deve ser de 80% a 90%, né?
Maybe someone.
Did I mention I'd never played before?
Oh no, I died too. Oh my.
Okay, hopefully the team can carry us.
But we are not alone.
There's a lot of enemies in this small space.
Gonna try to not move.
Okay.
Don't move, and hopefully someone is going to be able to revive you. Okay, good.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm up.
I'm in.
Okay.
Okay.
Back.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, thank you.
Já estão cogitando colocar o Game Pass. Colocar o Game Pass no Nintendo Switch já é uma coisa meio... Esses acordos que a Microsoft fez com a Nintendo, o crossplay do Fortnite que chegou primeiro, Minecraft também entre Xbox e Nintendo Switch.
First world, so it's Inferno.
Yeah.
Each region has its whole big set of challenges and everything.
And this is all on the map.
And its final boss.
Valeu,
That's what this is.
Tim Hurst, Tom SR, valeu Heavy Games. Obrigado pessoal que tá renovando o Prime aí na Twitch.
You saved us from having to kill the final boss.
E agora, com essa compra da Activision Blizzard, a Microsoft ela gastou 69 bilhões para comprar a Activision Blizzard. É uma compra audaciosa, mas está comprando a Blizzard em baixa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Overwatch basicamente destruído. Diablo 4 foi bom. Teve algumas polêmicas ali com o negócio de level. Eu gostei muito do Diablo 4, mas é um game que eu terminei e não tive a menor vontade de voltar a jogar. Call of Duty, a campanha, né? A campanha do último Call of Duty tenebrosa. E olha que eu recebi aqui da Blizzard, hein, do Diablo. Recebi das mãos de um dos caras lá de fora. O cara fez questão de me mandar aqui. Ó, esse aí é um dos que eu tô ansioso. Espero que saia esse ano. O Stalker. Ó, eu recebi aqui do Starfield. Joguei o Starfield, gostei do Starfield, mas eu tive muito problema com o Starfield. Se tem alguém que tem direito de falar mal do Starfield, sou eu. Eu tive que dar new game, tive que fazer a campanha do zero. Tava quase terminando o game, tive que jogar tudo de novo, porque o autosave me prendeu numa fase que não tinha saída. Porque o item, a chave pra mim passar de fase sumiu. Eu recebi aqui do Diablo, recebi aqui do Call of Duty e recebi aqui do Starfield ano passado, né? Eu só consegui me divertir no Starfield depois que quando eu comecei a fazer a live direto do console. Apaguei as luzes aqui de casa, foquei só no game. Consegui me divertir, mas mesmo assim eu tive muito bug, cara. Tive bugs aí de ter que voltar 2 horas na campanha, pegar save de 2 horas antes. Não consegui fazer os 1000G porque o meu save bugou. Eu tava upando meu personagem. Inclusive o vídeo que eu fiz de review, valeu? EVD Teles, obrigado aí pelo Prime. A análise que eu fiz do Starfield, eu mostrei lá, né, que o meu save não tava carregando depois do primeiro update do jogo. Não sei como é que tá hoje. Mas eu vou esperar sair a primeira DLC pra tentar fazer os 1000G dele. Ou sei lá, eu quero voltar no Starfield. Tem 2 quests lá que eu não completei. E tem que chegar no level 100. Primeiro quarto de 2024. Será que eles vão dar uma data hoje pra esse Stalker? Esse é o jogo do Vin Diesel, né? Mas o Vin Diesel sumiu, né? Vin Diesel tá gordaço, né, velho? Só faltou o Ronaldinho Gaúcho ali, né? A IGN fez copiou vários trailers antigos aí, né? Eu acho que o Vin Diesel não tá mais no Stalker 2, sei lá. Cara, eu tenho que fazer um vídeo falando sobre os achievements do Xbox, né? Além de algumas conquistas não desbloquearem, ficarem bugadas. Tem essa coisa da Microsoft ter decidido colocar 1000G em todos os jogos. Começou no Xbox One. E isso meio que matou o Gamerscore, né? Agora, com essa política de autorizar as produtoras indies a colocar o update de Gamerscore, aí os caras colocam 1000G, 5 conquistas de 1000G, pule 10 vezes, pule 20 vezes, igual o Avatar do 360, né? O Avatar do 360, ele foi um dos primeiros games que a gente viu ali que os caras não tinham a menor ideia do que eram os achievements, né? Os NBA antigos também, que eram 5 achievements. Tipo, faça um double-double, um triple-double. O NBA 2K6, que acho que tinha o Shaquille O'Neal na capa. Era basicamente isso, né? Fazer 20 pontos, 10 rebotes, 10 assistências. Eu acho que o FIFA 2006 também era 5 achievements. Inclusive tem um FIFA que tem uma conquista, acho que de 500 de Gamerscore. FIFAs antigos. Hoje em dia eu nem animo mais jogar FIFA porque pra achievement, pra conquista, né? Que é a lista de, sei lá, 50 achievements aí, fazer um monte de coisa online. Cara, a Microsoft, se a Microsoft copiar o sistema de platina do PlayStation, já tinha um boato aí que a Microsoft queria fazer um controle com as funções do controle do PlayStation. Já copiaram o botão Share. Né? Esse botão Share é uma cópia do Share do PlayStation, né? Os caras se perderam muito na parte criativa, né? O Xbox 360 ele foi a vanguarda da parte criativa. O Xbox clássico, o Xbox original, ele deu o pontapé inicial para o que a gente conhece do sistema online, de jogar online. O 360 ele aperfeiçoou tudo, criou os achievements, bate-papo em grupo, a dashboard que era incrível. Você vê até a intro do 360 é icônica. A intro do Xbox clássico é icônica. Agora, o Xbox One, hoje você liga o Series, você não tem aquele feeling. É igual quando você liga o PS1 ou PS2, né? Que tem aquela intro. Mas o Series não... Nem isso, sabe? São as pequenas coisas que dão personalidade ao console, né?
Miracle of progress. A finely tuned, delicately balanced.
Aí o Shock Infinite 2 aí. Aquele jogo do criador do BioShock também sumiu, né?
But it only takes one rebellious little gear to ruin everything. If you resist my rule,
Cara, a Microsoft fez tantas aquisições de produtora que determinados games não saírem em outras plataformas eu acho um pecado. É igual quando eu joguei o Wi-Fi Rush, eu falei, cara, esse game ia vender que nem água no Wii, no Nintendo Switch. Ele tem, na minha opinião, o Wi-Fi Rush tem a cara da Nintendo, cara. Agora, eu não vejo com bons olhos um Forza ou um Gears of War saindo no PlayStation. Assim como eu não vejo Nexo, um God of War no Xbox ou The Last of Us no Xbox. Porque são aqueles games que tem a cara do console. É igual você colocar o Street Fighter exclusivo do PlayStation. Pra mim não tem sentido. Eu acho que Street Fighter é universal. Assim como Mortal Kombat ou Tekken. São jogos universais. Eu acho que tem que sair pra todas as plataformas. Agora os exclusivos tradicionais... A não ser que haja um bem bolado, né?
What do I think about heroes? Well, we've all seen them, haven't we? Swanning about the place with their disproportionately high cheekbones and comically massive weapons. Roughing up bandits because they like to
Acho que no canal da Xbox BR vai ter
with the common folk every single night.
Vai ter legenda em português, né?
I'll say the true hero is me, someone who's breaking new ground with fruit, with veg on the agricultural side of things. Just look at them. Not wafting around mythical creatures. And that's what they are. Wafters.
Yeah, well done.
You see, I'm not here.
Valeu, Jameson. Valeu, Felipe Play. Valeu, Tom Ilhabela.
I'm here to conquer the vegetable. not
Bruno
you.
BNB.
Let's face it.
Paulinho Mil.
The age of heroes is over. This is the age of innovation. This, if you will, is the age of death. One moment. This is awkward.
Yeah. Oh. I've dreamt of this.
Será que vamos ter uma data de lançamento para esse bendito game?
Of fear and fury. Do you hear it? The heartbeat of the lost ones. I can feel them on my skin.
Agora vê a contagem do... Contagem oficial, né? Obsidian. O evento vai ter 1 hora de duração e depois vai ter um bate-papo sobre Elder Scrolls Online, que aí não me interessa. Pessoal, eu vou colocar aqui no Xbox BR, no canal da Xbox BR. Cara, o aplicativo do YouTube é tenebroso. Olha o epígrafe. Será que o Hellblade 2 sai esse ano, cara? Tem que sair, né? Vou aumentar o volume aqui da stream. Aquele Avowed eu achei interessante, cara. Espero que saia esse ano também. Agora, acredito que o jogo do Indiana Jones deva demorar. Legenda é embutida. Cara, acredito que o jogo do Indiana Jones seja em primeira pessoa. Na pegada dos Wolfenstein, dos últimos Wolfensteins. Vamos ver o que a Microsoft vai mostrar aí. Será que vão mostrar o Series X Slim? Valeu, Vini Moura. Eu vou desativar o Streamlabs aí enquanto rolar o evento para não... Adultos. Valeu, Felipe. Machine Games.
Welcome to Obsidian Entertainment. I'm so proud to share with you our upcoming fantasy action RPG, Avowed. Avowed is an adventure into the heart of the living lands, a frontier at the edge of the known world, where you must put a stop to a mysterious spiritual plague and discover a secret at the heart of the living lands. At Obsidian, we love creating worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity. And Avowed is no different. We set out to blend the believable and fantastical to give players a world and experience like no other. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's strange. It's one of the most incredible settings in the world of Aora. There's going to be a lot of great secrets to discover, one of which has a really personal connection to you as the player character, and you're going to have a great time getting to know those secrets and leaving your mark on the world. And when it comes to encounters, our combat brings the best of the moment-to-moment fun that comes with action-oriented gameplay and the depth and breadth of choice that you get with an RPG. Here to talk more about Avowed's combat is Gabriel Paramo, Gameplay Director.
Here at Obsidian, our team's overarching goal is to empower you with choice. So we developed a flexible combat system that allows you to quickly swap from spellcasting and sharpshooting to melee combat. We want to give you the freedom to mix and match your loadout to fit the way you want to play from moment to moment, uninterrupted. For all battles, you can combine a variety of weapons, attacks, and abilities for tactical advantages against a wide range of enemy types. It's not just hacking and slashing. You're making real-time decisions about when to use your abilities, powerful melee attacks, blocks, parries, and special attacks. If you choose to approach combat with a one-handed wand, it feels quick and snappy when dealing damage to enemies at mid-range. Using the Tanglefoot ability, you can stop enemies in their tracks, giving you the opportunity to focus on weaker or tougher combatants in an intentional and controlled manner. It's important to pay attention to the types of enemies you're dealing with. Some units are extremely defensive, some are brutishly difficult, and others you must make sure you prioritize or their healing capabilities will put you in a tough spot. To help with the different encounters,
o gráfico deu uma melhorada.
Customizable loadouts that can be quickly switched during combat. That means you can play however you want. Equip a sword and shield and charge into battle. Dual-wield pistols and control the encounter mid-range. Or even dual-wield wands to feel like a gunslinging mage. You could use your enchanted wand to freeze enemies and then use your offhand weapon's power attack to shatter them. We've worked hard to keep you constantly engaged as battles unfold by creating a balance between pressure and manageability during combat.
players will have ample choices for how to build and progress their envoy in the world of the living lands as they get to know the game and the story and explore the many diverse regions. Some quests in Avowed will have you make difficult decisions with profound consequences, like this side quest you may encounter in Shatterscarp, the third region you'll explore on your journey through the living lands.
Ele tá com cara de jogo mediano, né?
These fallen soldiers, and as you explore the remains of the battle, it's up to you to determine who, if anyone, is at fault.
Just the four of us.
É um jogo pra você se divertir no Game Pass. Não é material de Game of the Year.
Trying to keep Thirdborn safe.
In other words, you're a gang of vigilantes. Not that I'm one to judge.
Here. Take my badge. Take everyone's. Our families deserve to know we fought and died for them.
Making the right choice isn't always what it seems. We embrace moral nuance and gray areas, trusting players to make tough decisions in complicated situations.
My squad and I rested in the cave by the water last night, and as we were sleeping, we were ambushed by those miserable Zorips. I was so surprised, and it was so dark. I just got separated from everyone else. Look, I can't face those monsters alone, but I have to know if anyone else made it out. Of course he did. Sergeant Asui never has a thought he won't say out loud. So what did he tell you? That Captain Ruiki was sick? That I was paranoid? That I was a dumb baby? I heard it all often and loudly. Wait, if you found Sergeant Asui, why is he not here with you? What happened?
At the end of the quest, you have a choice. When you confront Private Naoki, if you believe the story he's told you, you can hand over the badges and let him go back home.
You're right. Real battle isn't something you can prepare for, is it? It's not my fault. No, they should have never have camped in the cave. I'll take the badges. I'm going back to Thirdborn.
But if you confront him, if you believe that he fled the site of the battle as an act of cowardice, then he might challenge you to a fight to reclaim his honor. Either way, when you return to town, you'll see the consequences of your actions and the choices you made during this quest. Creating an immersive experience like Avowed is anchored in the world we build. Art director Matt Hansen and the team have worked to create a unique, colorful, and dynamic visual style.
From the outset, we knew that we wanted Avowed setting to feel rich, weird, and wonderful. We found inspiration in a wide swath of
Tomara que esse jogo saia esse ano. Mas tá com cara de jogo nota 7.
By contrasting the vibrant with the dull, or verdant spaces with sickly ones, we can better deliver.
Eu não gostei daquele combate não. Achei o combate muito
The living lands is a
simplório.
continent of untamed valleys with widely varied biomes, from luxuriant forests to volcanic wastes. And each of those regions itself is a conflux of storied lands.
Ele tá parecendo um jogo da geração passada.
Have a lot of special things associated with them, but I have a
Ele parece um jogo de fim de geração do Xbox One ou até do PS4.
You might notice off in the distance a vibrant jewel of color. By transitioning from destitute, muted tones of a wasteland of sand and marching in towards a beautiful oasis, there's the opportunity there for life, for adventure, and even a little danger.
We hope you've enjoyed this look at Avowed. We're thrilled to share more about the game in the coming months, and we can't wait for you to explore the living lands when Avowed launches this fall.
Outono. Será que vai ser lançado no final do ano ou vai ser adiado? Maneira a capa. O nome é meio ruim, né? Avowed. Parece que você foi demitido. Avowed. Não! Perdi meu emprego. You are avowed. Hellblade.
Hi, I'm Don Matthews, studio head here at Ninja Theory in Cambridge, UK. We're now in the final months of development on Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and the team is working hard to bring you an unforgettable journey into Senua's unique world and her battle for survival, where we have once again combined high fidelity and immersive presentation with a shorter, narrative-led experience that focuses on the things that we really care about, and that we hope you care about too.
You see how surrounding you are. Do you see how the pitiless world stamps you down?
Senua is back with a new quest. She wants to stop the Vikings who raided her village right at their source, in Iceland. But not just her quest has changed. Senua herself has grown since the first Hellblade. She's made peace with her past and is no longer in such fear of her visions and voices. While the Furies are still her constant companions, she encounters new people along the way, some of which will value her unique perspective, and others who will reject it.
Little by little, this settlement became my tribe.
In the game, Senua arrives in 10th century Iceland on the trail of the Vikings who have been enslaving her people. In the story, we're trying to be as faithful to history as we can up to a point, establishing a solid framework and then building more surreal elements on top. Senua will face up to giants who have plunged the land into chaos, and which in turn has seen the rise of the Droiga, a violent threat that has swept through the settlements that she'll discover. Senua will make new enemies and also new allies who will come to see her unique perspective as a beacon of hope. And she'll discover, along with us, how this viewpoint can have its advantages.
Senua is a Celtic warrior who experiences psychosis, seeing things that other people don't, hearing voices, and having unique beliefs about the world around her. To bring Senua's perspective of the world to life in a truthful way, we have once again worked closely with Professor Paul Fletcher at the University of Cambridge, as well as people with lived experience of psychosis.
What does that mean? What does that mean? It's terrifying.
Players will find themselves traversing beautiful and hostile environments, seeking answers from patterns and signs that Senua sees in her own unique way, and battling through encounters with enemies that will push Senua to her limits.
On Saga, we've taken everything to the next level. With a new motion capture space, a bigger stage team, a stunt crew and a new cast.
We spent a lot of time planning the motion capture shoots, thinking of what events would be good to bring into this fight. Like, how can we make this fight feel different from the previous fight? We have all new combat for the sequel. One of our key goals was the ability to actually tell a story throughout it. It does feel very different from the first game, but it's very brutal and you're very invested in it. Senua isn't a superhero. She's fighting for survival, and we want the player to feel her struggle in every step of her journey. We want the player to always feel like they just scraped through, just survived it.
Mel knows Senua better than anyone, better than I do. Her instincts are amazing, and she really doesn't need much help from me. On stage, our main focus is storytelling. So I get to watch the actors and see all the beautiful expressions on their faces. And then I have to wait a little while, and then I get to see that all again, in-game, in costume, on location, everything. It's a great experience, a great process.
Every discipline in the studio is unified in achieving a deep level of immersion to help suspend your disbelief and pull you into Senua's story. We were lucky enough to do a few reference gathering trips in Iceland. You have to be there. The sense of scale, everything is incredible. And you see a scene or you see a small section of the game and you're like, yeah, that works, that's amazing.
Senua experiences reality differently, and a part of this manifests in the voices she hears.
She will collapse. She will collapse.
These voices come to life through binaural audio, which provides a good representation of this type of auditory hallucinations. As we focus in immersion, binaural audio is perfect for this because through headphones you surround yourself in a three-dimensional space. In the first game, we only applied to the voices that Senua listens in her head. In this game, through a spatial audio technology and some extra little things within the game, there is music that is binaural. Every single sound has the potential to be binaural, so everything is spatialized around you, and it's a very beautiful experience. Music is a strange language in the sense that it speaks to our emotions fast and deep. It's not only about quality, it's about personality. So when you listen to Hellblade, you know it's Hellblade. On the music, we are working with Heilung, which for me is a personal privilege because I really admire them. We feel their craft, their depth, their meaning in the music. It really connects with our game and elevates it to something really special. We are also working with a heavy metal singer, throat singers, and our very own Furies. They sing so beautiful, and we add that binaural touch of music. So this all creates a very immersive and a very special and unique experience.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech. And that's our aim in Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, is to not only see where Senua goes next, but to deliver something really meaningful for our players.
My hope is that they will really connect to Senua as a character, and even if they can't really relate to what she's going through, maybe they know someone that relates to that character and they can then understand that person better.
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but in a way I'm Senua, right? She exists and doesn't. It exists through all of our work, through every ninja. So we all are Senua, and we are creating this character that grows and grows and grows and grows and keep growing and keep changing. So that makes it real.
I'm so proud of the love, care and passion our team here at Ninja Theory are putting into Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Our hope is to not only create a game that is great to play, but to craft an experience that leaves you thinking and feeling. From our combat gameplay through to our action set pieces, from our cinematic scenes to our puzzle solving, everything is crafted in service of Senua's journey, a journey that you can embark on May 21st.
Já? Oh! Show, cara. Eu achei que esse jogo ia sair só no final do ano. 21 de maio. Então, Avowed pro final do ano. Hellblade para 21 de maio. Indiana Jones para 2025. Ah, isso aí tinha vazado, né? Final Fantasy.
Greetings, Xbox players. My name is Masaru Oyamada, producer for the Mana series here at Square Enix. 聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの情報を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにいち早くお伝えできる機会をいただけて大変光栄。コンソールゲームとしては約17年ぶりとなる聖剣伝説シリーズの完全新作。聖剣伝説シリーズは1991年にファイナルファンタジー外伝として誕生して以降、マナと聖剣をめぐって描かれる愛をテーマに、個性豊かなキャラクターたち、心に響く楽曲の数々、武器の特性を生かして戦うアクション RPG としてこれまでに17作発売され、
Essa é uma série que eu queria muito jogar.
本作は30年以上の歴史あるシリーズの最新作となる。
Será que vai ser
これまで培われてきた
Mana Collection?
伝説としての世界をしっかり感じられるものを目指して鋭意制作中です。フィールドでは自然や精霊とのつながりを感じられる色彩豊かな聖剣伝説の世界を体験してもらえると思います。シリーズおなじみのモンスターたちも本作に登場しています。
É um novo, né?
今回これらのおなじみのモンスターたちを作り出した聖剣伝説の生みの親である石井光一さんとともに聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの内容を紹介していきたいと思います。
Hello, I am Koichi Ishii from Gretz. I am so happy to
Parece o
introduce
personagem do
the newest
Yakuza.
game in the Mana series to Xbox players. 初期の頃からシリーズ作品に登場しているモンスターたちは私が考案したものですが、中には小学生の頃すでにイメージができていたものもあります。今作では、はじめはドット絵からスタートしたモンスターたちをどのような形で最新化して聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナに落とし込むか、デザインの方向性からモデルの完成イメージまでを監修する立場でプロジェクトに参加しました。聖剣伝説ファイナルファンタジー外伝を作っていた頃から自分の頭の中ではモンスターたちは立体的に生き生きと動いて、これまで自分が携わった作品ではそれらをどうやって当時の技術で表現できるかにこだわって作ってきました。最新作では聖剣伝説のモンスターたちのただ可愛いだけではなく恐ろしさの部分もしっかりと表現できている。
Isso aí só vai ser interessante se ele entrar direto no Game Pass.
注目してください。
これまで聖剣伝説シリーズには空を旅する海を渡る手助けをしてくれる頼もしい仲間たちがいましたが、
Queria o Final Fantasy VII Remake no
欠か
Xbox.
せない新たな仲間が登場します。陸上を猛スピードで駆け回ってくれるピックル。ピックルも石井さんが新たに考案してくださっています。
Tá parecendo Pokémon.
新たな仲間を考えるにあたっては、今作のマスコットキャラクターになるくらい可愛い動物にしたいという漠然とした思いがありました。その上で、ヨークシャテリアの毛並み、見た目やアルマジルによく似た仙山港や古代エジプト神のアヌビスの子供といった具体的なイメージが浮かんできて、それぞれの特徴を取り入れながらラフデザインを書き起こしました。デザイナーにもアイデアを出してもらいながら、足の長さや丸まった時のイメージなど、ゲームの中での見え方も考えながら、調整を重ねていき、ピックルは誕生しました。
もう一つの挑戦は楽曲面です。過去、様々なコンポーザーが携わられた楽曲の雰囲気が感じられつつも、最新作として素晴らしい新たな楽曲が生まれました。BGM でもしっかり聖剣伝説シリーズらしさを感じてもらえると思います。過去シリーズの楽曲を手掛けたクリエイターたちが全100曲という大ボリュームの制作に挑んでくれました。新たな試みとしてフィールドの探索からバトルまでをシームレスに体験できるよう、今作ではインタラクティブミュージックを導入しており、冒険の没入感を高めてくれます。探索中の BGM がバトルに入った瞬間、アレンジが切り替わる様を実際に聞いてみましょう。今作はアクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。空中でのアクションがバトルの鍵となっており、
A música tá tocando.
魔法での攻撃
O Chapa tá comendo muito sushi, velho. Você entra na batalha, a música tá tocando.
聖剣伝説
Não mudou nada, velho.
おなじみの精霊たちがいますが、その力を宿した武器を使うとバトルを手助けしてくれるようになります。精霊によっては様々な特性の違いがありますので、その効
Esse
果
jogo ele tá me lembrando
不思議な
o
力
Dragon Quest.
爽快なバトルを楽しめる
Parece que a Square usa o mesmo motor gráfico para todos os RPGs. Todos os action RPGs infantis deles.
聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナーは聖剣伝説らしさを感じてもらえる作品になるよう、小山田君を中心にチームのみんなが頑張って作ってくれていますので、ぜひ発売日を楽しみに待っていてください。私自身も
Como é que o jogador de Xbox vai desfrutar da série Mana se não tem os. Não foram lançados outros games? Ah, é o primeiro.
聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは今後も様々な情報
E no PlayStation eles lançaram o Secret of Mana
この夏
Um relançamento do Secret of Mana e dos antigos,
楽しん
né?
でいただける日が今から待ちきれません
No Game Pass? Ah, se não tá no Game Pass, não tem graça, cara. Pô, o Xbox é Game Pass, pô. Eles acham que alguém vai comprar esse jogo do Xbox? Só se for do Eneba, né? Eu vou comprar do Eneba! Vou comprar do Perigo. Comprar na Argentina, né? R$20.
Hello, and welcome to Oxide Games. We founded the studio in 2013 with our decades of personal experience building some of the most beloved strategy games of all time, like Civilization V. We came together to create something new and innovative in a genre we all love. Ara History Untold is the game we've dreamt of making.
Ara is an homage to historical gamers, strategy gamers, 4X gamers. It features all the depth and gameplay fans of this genre love.
Jogadores 4X.
Expand your nation, govern
O que é jogadores
engage
4X?
with your rivals on the international stage. But it isn't just more of the same. With Ara, we wanted to challenge some of the preconceived notions about the genre, push it forward in a modern, empowering, and truly compelling and approachable way.
For example, we have over 100 instruments on display in the office, which are all things that we purchased in order to add to the soundtrack and expand the game and make it really good.
Você está demitido.
Hi, Dan. That's Dan. We started in his basement. It's been an amazing process to see from concept to completion. We started small, building a robust game engine, questioning our design assumptions, and prototyping out features, rediscovering what made us fall in love with strategy games in the first place.
The end result is Ara, the historical grand strategy game that presents a living world where you can rule how you want to rule and chart your own path to becoming the most prestigious nation on the planet.
For Ara, we knew we needed deep
Civilization
that encourage exploration and give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices while still having agency over their playstyle.
We also wanted to explore more in different parts of history and give players from around the world
Agora,
the chance to
esse
see the
nome
game reflect
Ara
their unique perspective and not just ours.
And finally, we knew that for players to feel the impact of their decisions, they would need to see their choices reflected in the game world itself, not just through numbers on a menu. One of the first
o Coroa tá no site pornográfico ali atrás.
called the living world. It's a procedurally generated alternate Earth, bursting with life, an intuitive, authentic, and immersive space, a blank canvas for players to paint the society of their dreams.
The living world isn't just a map. It reflects the choices players make over the course of the game. They can see everything from the settling of the wilderness to cultural influence on architecture over time to the thousands of citizens living their lives and reacting to the changes. We want players to feel like they're truly occupying the world, leading their people as they thrive and grow. Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to rule. And no feature better exemplifies this than the prestige system.
To win a game of Ara, players will compete with their rivals to build the most influential, impressive, and important nation the world has ever known. This is measured by prestige, the player's score that proves their worth as a leader.
The prestige system gives players the chance to decide what kind of leader they want to be. Do they want to pursue great works of arts and culture?
Araraquara.
Scientific advancement? The choice is theirs. In Ara, there are no set victory conditions. Players get to decide what is most important to them and focus and prioritize.
Será que os jogadores de Civilization vão deixar de jogar o Civilization para jogar Ara?
I like to build triumphs. Triumphs are our collection of incredible monuments and architectural achievements from throughout human history. Like the Great Pyramid of Giza. They're hard to build, but worth it, giving huge prestige bonuses and game-changing abilities to the nation that constructs them.
Another aspect of Ara that I'm personally excited about is our crafting system.
The crafting system offers a unique challenge to the player that they generally won't see often in the 4X genre. Succeeding at balancing, gathering the right things, turning them into the tools that you need, and then finally getting to the outcome or reward of something like an important improvement or triumph just changes the challenge that exists in Ara compared to other 4X games.
Crafting plays out in Aura at a national scale, with players honing and combining the natural resources they harvest into all manner of goods and components. Those are the foundation for everything, from international trade to improving their cities and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units. The crafting system in Aura encourages thoughtful, advanced planning. It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their collective decisions, and not just the individual ones.
I'm proud of the work that's gone into our simultaneous turn system. Many strategy games have players alternate taking turns and reacting to their opponent's moves. In Aura, all players' actions are resolved at the same time. This rewards players' ability to navigate uncertainty, to predict and strategically plan for a variety of scenarios in the moment. This system makes Aura just feel more real. In a typical strategy game, once your turn is finished, you have to wait for a long time. With simultaneous turns, generally speaking, those times are very low. You get to keep playing the game and stay engaged rather than having those periods of downtime where you're not doing anything.
It's not easy sifting through all of history and picking what to include. For Aura, we wanted to offer a fresh perspective, so we looked at cultures and societies throughout the millennia with the broadest lens possible.
Where this approach really shines is in our leaders. Leaders are so often seen as military personnel or prominent government figures, but leaders come in so many different forms. They're thought leaders, scientific and cultural prodigies, and many more.
Each leader in Aura has a number of special abilities determined
Queria ver mais do Hellblade.
traits, as well as a powerful and unique leader trait informed by their contributions to world history.
With a diverse global roster, we know players will find leaders that they will want to play. And even a few that may surprise them with how fun it is when those leaders are handed the reins of power.
For us at Oxide, player feedback is the only way to really understand what you're making. It gives us that priceless perspective from the people we're making Aura for, you.
Building the game alongside real players has given us that critical player feedback. In the end, we believe this makes for a deeper connection between the players and the game.
One of my favorite examples is when we first introduced the concept of dangerous wildlife to the game. It turns out, in our first iteration, it was maybe a little bit too aggressive or disruptive. We knew we should probably make a change when one of our insiders made a forum post that was just,
"Cougars, cougars,
Cougars, I hate cougars!
Someone get these feline demons away from me. I'm happy to report, based on more recent feedback, that I think we ended up in a good place with the overall threat level of mountain lions to a player's citizenry.
It's been years of hard work to bring you a strategy experience like no other. And we're so excited that we can finally see the finish line. We can't wait for players to get their hands on the game later this year.
But the launch of Aura is only the beginning. We are going to maintain our insider program after the release date and continue to listen to players and support the game into the future.
On behalf of everyone at Oxide Games, thank you for joining us today. We can't wait for you to play Aura and to create your own history.
Se tiver umas conquistinhas fáceis, eu tô dentro. Se não, jogue por 30 anos. Tipo, porra, é não, né, cara? Você jogar, mata um Kuga, 1000G, aí eu tô dentro. Jogão, jogo do ano. Vai mostrar o Indiana Jones. Depois do último filme do Indiana Jones, né? Complicado, cara.
Hej och välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine Games. We are really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones. Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate adventure. Even today, it's one of the most iconic franchises in pop culture.
Porta.
In this game,
sabia. Não fala dos dois últimos filmes, não. Principalmente o último.
A journey that we hope lives up to the proud legacy of Indiana Jones. When Todd Howard first told us about his vision for the game, we knew we would be a very good fit to help bring it to life.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever. I'd had this idea for what it would be like and the story, what Indy was going after, what period
Indiana Jones no espaço.
what kind of arc he was going to have. And as I thought, who would be like the best studio in the world to make this?
Indiana Loading Jones.
Games. I can remember pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because look, it's, Indiana Jones. And their response was just overwhelmingly positive, and just that excitement has bled through the whole project, and they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything that we want to do with the game. It's been a long time. I've been a fan of this my whole life, and I couldn't be more excited to show you what the team here has been up to. Let's take our first look at the new Indiana Jones game.
Let me tell you what you are missing, Dr. Jones. While you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you. You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning, instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sands of Africa.
Oh, maneiro.
Caralho. Myths. History. Just different ways to interpret the past.
Tá maneiro, hein?
Thousands of years of humanity's thoughts.
Oh, Kingman.
Scattered and buried. Just waiting to be found.
You can't just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me.
Cara, que maneiro.
Throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle. I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I can keep up?
Maneiro.
Patron of the fallen angels. Protector of the Chukulimani. The Great Circle. You have any idea how old that was?
Maneiro, hein?
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character, and he means so much to so many people.
Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years.
He's a brilliant archaeologist, he's a charismatic everyman, he's passionate and determined.
Legal eles conseguirem colocar o rosto do Harrison Ford ali no jogo.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience. Our game is all about putting you in Indy's shoes, letting you see and feel what he sees and feels. For us at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting and interactive world we've built. We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel like your own.
Whether it's cracking your whip, solving puzzles in ancient temples, or seeing your knuckles go bloody in a fistfight, all of these moments are much more intense in first person.
But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat and the whip, and so for things like cutscenes and environmental traversal, we pull the camera back for a third-person view. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
When our game begins, Indiana is working at Marshall College. He wakes up in the middle of the night to the sounds of a break-in and rushes to confront the thief in the college museum. The mysterious giant of a man makes off with what seems to be a historically insignificant artifact, sparking Indiana's curiosity.
Who the hell are you?
Following the trail, Indiana heads to the Vatican, hoping to learn why this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things aren't what they appear.
He starts pulling at the strings of a mystery, and it all unravels until he has no choice but to see it through to the end, whatever the end may be.
On next plane to Rome, stop. Need help, stop. Meet me in Vatican, stop. Indy.
We always talk about how clever Indiana Jones is. That had to be one of our guiding principles when we were thinking about the type of game we were making. It wouldn't be Indy if he wasn't using his wits to get through the situation. The most authentic Indiana Jones experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Sure, there will be some obstacles that will be more easily overcome with the revolver or a gun taken from a disarmed guard. But I think most of the time you'll have more fun and, to be honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's trying a different path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage, or using the tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's an
Caralho, muito foda.
With action propelling you through your journey.
We have these really diverse environments for you to explore. Indy's journey will take him to the forgotten temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt, the snow-peaked Himalayas.
Quero saber a data.
We look carefully at each location and the time period the game is set in, and we're trying to make it as authentic and accurate as possible.
We love creating rich, vibrant worlds, and in this game, we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
One of the biggest ways to do that is with the music. John Williams is the original composer for the indie films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
We also take a very movie-like approach to things like cinematics. We're very physical with our production style. We use a lot of stunt actors. Things like this help us bridge the gap between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to life as well. Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting to the bottom of the core mystery.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Okay then, let's see if you can keep up.
Fight. What do you mean if I can keep up?
We always love our villains and think we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both brilliant people, compelled by their passions and obsessions, but driven down wildly different roads.
He creeps up on you and gets under your skin like he gets under Indy's skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is adventure first. But in every indie adventure, there are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been one of those balancing acts for us, and we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
How you approach any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits, you got Indy's most iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purposed as possible. We want it integrated into every aspect of the game.
You can use it as a traversal tool to make your way around the environment. You can use it as a distraction.
And yes, you can absolutely use it in combat. Everything you'd expect from Indie's whip, and hopefully a little bit more. Puzzles are a key feature in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Foi a grande surpresa de
Games
hoje.
is known for creating these roller coaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists, and immersive narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay so true to the Indiana Jones franchise and create such an authentic experience while still being able to showcase what makes us us. We are making a game for everyone, whether you are very familiar with the franchise or not. Because at the heart of Indiana Jones is an incredible adventure, and I think that's something everyone wants to be part of. I'm also very excited to announce that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year, and we cannot wait to share more soon.
Todd Howard roubou o negócio ali. Será que sai esse ano mesmo? Porra, tomara que saia esse ano, cara. Muito bom. Tudo para 2024.
Should I take one?
Is it animals, children, and game developers?
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art.
Acredito que o Indiana Jones vá ser adiado.
Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to rule. Stay happy!
Creating an immersive experience like Avowed is anchored in the world we build.
You aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones.
My name is Masaru Oyamada. 今作はアクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。
Esse Vinges of Mana nada a ver no evento, cara. Bom, primeiro evento do ano aí de exclusivo de Xbox. Bem legal o fato deles terem dado data, né? Agora vai ter uma revelação global aí do... O pessoal tava perguntando da qualidade aqui. Quando eu mexi na configuração, tava 1080-60 aqui. A qualidade da streaming da Xbox BR é ruim mesmo. Só que o pessoal fica me pedindo para assistir legendado, né? Eu não encontrei a transmissão oficial do Xbox aqui, a internacional, né? Só a da IGN. Okay,
hoping that they would be able to pull in all of those things from the films that we remembered and kind of love and have that nostalgia for. Feels like they're really knocking on the door for that. You know, the music and the score really came through, and I think that that's a big part of the indie experience and the indie fandom.
Valeu, CB Grando, Matheus de Matheus de Camargo, Viciex, Roquinaldo, Felipe FCD, Vini Moura. Obrigado, pessoal, que renovou o Prime.
You were talking as we were just watching it together. You were like, I called it from the first teaser. Give me your immediate reactions.
Yeah, because like everyone, I remember seeing people in chat and, you know, being like, oh, well, Machine Games, you know, I don't know, because this is an Indiana game. We want to see him, so it's probably going to be third person. And I was like, well, if they're making an Indiana game, they probably want to make sure that you feel like the character, and first person is a really good way to do that. So I said from the beginning, I think it's going to be first person. So I'm glad that they are going that route. Right now, I don't know how far along this trailer
Se o jogo fosse em terceira pessoa, de repente numa pegada Tomb Raider, poderia ser interessante. Tem o jogo do Indiana Jones que está na retrocompatibilidade do Xbox original, que é em terceira pessoa.
I want to see more of the combat, like dynamic combat through one level, because we got a lot of like jump cuts. So I want to know what the combat flow is going to look like.
Destin, your thoughts? There was a lot to see there.
I wasn't sure about Indiana Jones going in to the Dev Direct. I was absolutely blown away. I really like what they're doing here. I love the first person. What we saw of combat looks really fun. I can't get over how well they integrated the whip into all of the
Essas partes aí me lembrou Call of Duty.
Being able to grab somebody by the leg or just whip somebody and then pull them towards you for a punch. It's very indie. Everything about it just makes me remember why I love those original movies, and to see a game take the movies and make this, which just hits all the right notes from the villain to the puzzles to the combat, has me tremendously excited. More than I ever thought I would be for an Indiana Jones video game. I'm all in.
Yeah, the thought I had with the first person thing is, number one, it's not unexpected. I mean, like Stella was saying, there were good reasons to go first person with this, but not just sort of centering you in the character, but also because it's a good way to differentiate from Tomb Raider and from Uncharted, right? I mean, those are comparisons that people are naturally going to make, because there hasn't been an Indiana Jones video game outside of Lego Indiana Jones. Like, there hasn't been a sort of AAA indie game since, I think, maybe 2003. I think Destin is what we had looked up with Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. I think
this
was
one?
the name of it. That's the one. Yes.
I just played it for B-roll. But yeah, this game actually is pretty good. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, I played it a little bit just to
Tiraram da loja.
The old game is played like, and
eu não peguei ele nas Games of Gold quando deram. Tava esperando uma promoção para comprar.
Machine Games is doing a whole new thing from this take though, and yeah, I just left with a very positive impression about where the game is going to evolve to, and really stoked.
Yeah, the id Tech engine, which is what we don't know 100% that's what this is using, but that's what this studio's used for years with Wolfenstein. That is almost certainly the tech that's going on here. Production value wise, Khalif, pretty high production values, clearly.
1000%. I mean, every visual that we saw just jumped off the screen, right? It felt exactly like you remembered indie movies feeling, which is great, from the, from the villains to the kind of that sepia tone, that kind of, feeling like you're in these far off places in the desert or in some far off land. They just nailed all of those pieces. And again, we talked a little bit behind the scenes, them snagging Harrison Ford's likeness in this, and really nailing that, and also the voice actor, whomever that may be, doing the voice capture for this, or the voice performance for this, it all feels exactly like you would hope for a game like this that wants to pay homage to one of the biggest and kind of best known adventure movies of all time. So I'm very excited to see where all of those pieces kind of land, and see who the other folks are in that conversation. And of course, Tony Todd is in this, so that automatically just magically just made me super excited for that. So hyped as heck for this.
So, Stella, I want to come back to you to get your thoughts, and everybody else's too. But something that I think was maybe a bit of an unanswered question from this, and maybe I'm just looking too far into it. Just tell me if you think I am. But Gina, we were introduced to near the end. She's a reporter. She's kind of along this adventure with Indy. They're helping each other out. They specifically referred to her as a protagonist. Do you think that you're going to play as her for one level for significant amounts of time? What was your takeaway from that?
You know what? It would be really cool if there were some temple puzzles that you have to work together, but you can't really
Depois
see
de
each other,
jogar
so
com a
you
Mary
walk
Jane no
walls, right? Kind
Homem-Aranha
of like,
2.
well, I guess Portal was a co-op game, but if it was sort of like, you know, you could talk to them and maybe switch.
Se for algo bem feito, né? Jogar com ela.
But I feel like we're going to get maybe one or two
Agora, se
levels
for
where
jogar com ela só pra botar que jogou com ela, fazer um negócio.
a bit of trouble where he's gotten himself
Aquelas sessões stealth, chata pra caramba,
those partner moments where he has to call out, hey, hit this lever now or whatever, and that might be really cool. So yeah, I love the idea of having two protagonists, but maybe I feel like we're definitely going to be focusing on Indiana here, but yeah.
That's probably where I'm landing with it too, is maybe either one or just the occasional check-in with her where you're, like I said, maybe you're riding a motorcycle and you've got to save him or something, or I think the puzzle example you gave was pretty solid as well. But maybe almost kind of like the Mary Jane stuff from Spider-Man on PlayStation, where it's kind of a neat little change of pace.
Não, a parte da Mary Jane é muito ruim no Homem-Aranha 2, cara.
Destin, speaking of Spider-Man, I mean, this seems awesome enough, and it's this well-known big property. Is it too early to say that this Indiana Jones could be sort of Xbox's Spider-Man, if you will?
In terms of exclusivity, yes, I definitely think, and I know you're using a licensed IP there to make the correlation.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be their answer to Uncharted, and if they get to continue to make games like this is great, because it's not just like a straight up Uncharted clone. It's really unique in how they're presenting combat, how they're integrating puzzles into it. They did say that a lot of the puzzles are going to be optional. So there's going to be, even if you're into puzzles, you can go do all these side things where you can unlock more secrets in each level, or you can just keep on playing through the game and only impact or only encounter those main puzzles. But to your point, Ryan, I do agree. I think this is going to be a huge win for Xbox in terms of a licensed IP game.
So I did a very informal Twitter poll for every game featured throughout the stream. As soon as it was done on the stream, I put up a little poll with the same 4 choices. Loved it, seemed pretty good, it looked okay, and I didn't like what I saw. So we'll check in on
Avowed.
every game for this. For Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is indeed the name, which was dug out by a sleuthy internet user prior to this that I think we'd written up on IGN. I will say that Indiana Jones, perhaps unsurprisingly rather, had the highest satisfaction rate of any of the 4, any of the 5. So of 2,000 votes and still rising here,
Cara,
over 2,000 votes, 2/3 of the respondents on my
faz muitos anos que eu não fico tão animado com algo relacionado a algo relacionado a exclusivos de Xbox como esse Indiana Jones, cara.
This was quite an overwhelmingly positive.
Mesmo acreditando que esse game vai ser adiado para 2025, se ele sair em 2024, ótimo. Quero jogá-lo imediatamente. Mas faz muitos anos que eu não fico tão feliz. Além do Hellblade 2, que eu gostei muito do primeiro Hellblade. Mas esse Indiana Jones...
It's always been my favorite genre. I like when first-person games aren't just shooters, when they try some different stuff, which
Quando o jogo for sair, dá pra fazer até uma maratona Indiana Jones aqui no canal, né? Jogar os
is one of the
Os
probably
antigos.
5 definitely
Aquele
10
do Atari não
greatest
dá, né?
original Xbox
Aquele
games
do
ever.
Atari não.
If you've never played it,
Jogar o Indiana Jones Super Nintendo de Play 1, Play 2.
It's not.
it's not. So there was
No.
I know there was a 360 like sort of remaster,
Yeah.
upgraded visual version, but Destin, it's not backwards compatible.
It's not. To capture the
Oh.
B-roll that hopefully Red has ready, I had to go back to
É o
get
Troy
up to
Baker, a voz do
360
Indiana
and
Jones.
capture gameplay of the 360 disc. But that game holds up really, really well. It was easy to pick up and start playing again. And it was one of those first games that took a licensed IP and did something really, really cool with it. Like it takes place.
Alguém no chat falou que a voz estava parecendo o Joel, né?
The whole story of how he got that and how he escapes this prison.
Troy Baker é
And I
foda,
like
cara.
how they're sort of using the same formula for indie here. They are taking a story between Raiders and Last Crusade and telling us about it, just like they did with Chronicles of Riddick. Riddick opens up, you've been captured by Hoxie, who is in the Pitch Black movie, and he takes you to to the slammer. And yeah, this is the 360 game that you're looking at right now if you're watching along with us. And believe it or not, it still plays pretty well. I was surprised how easy it was to pick up and start playing again, but to be fair, I played through it.
Joguei esse Chronicles of Ridge que
Definitely showing its age.
no 360.
Definitely showing its age.
Muito bom, cara.
In almost 20 years ago, 2004, I think, was the original Xbox release of this. Maybe 03. Anyway,
Esse jogo saiu no Xbox original, mas eu joguei o relançamento dele no 360.
it was an original Xbox exclusive. And if you're watching or listening to this going, well, wait a minute, why are you talking about Riddick, the Escape from Butcher Bay? That was Starbreeze. Well, Machine Games, I do apologize. That's the like core bit of information I'm leaving out. So let me fix that. Machine Games, who of course has done the Wolfenstein games and done them so well, they were started by the core team that did Riddick at Starbreeze and then left and founded Machine Games. That's why I'm drawing that direct parallel. And the fact that indie, they were talking about how it's gonna mix in, you can do melee combat.
Eu não sei se esse game tá na retrocompatibilidade, se vocês nunca jogaram.
And they did it exceptionally well.
Chronicles of
If Red can bring up the gameplay that I provided him, all cut up real nice.
Chronicles of Ridge, Escape from Butcher Bay.
The stealth mechanics and really just own that character. And the reason I'm so excited about indie is because it looks like they've managed to do the same thing. This is the old indie. This isn't exclusive footage.
Well, it's still good to take a look at Emperor's Tomb here, because this is what a AAA Indiana Jones game looked like exactly 20 years ago. That game came out in 2003. It was done by, again, a very talented developer, The Collective. And for fellow olds, might remember that The Collective kind of put themselves on the map at the time. They did an awesome licensed game of their own first. They did a Buffy the Vampire Slayer game that was really good for PS2 and for original Xbox, and then they did Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb there.
Esse jogo da Buffy eu nunca joguei.
Yeah, hopefully Red is digging up that Riddick footage that Destin had prepped, because
Aliás, eu tô baixando a coleção. O Solaris tá aí? Eu tô baixando a coleção de jogos de PS2 aqui, já tô na letra M.
If you've got even a reasonable,
Quer dizer, eu tô na letra
nothing top of the line,
P.
just go buy it on Steam.
Falta a letra R, S, T, U e V. Pra completar todos os jogos de Play 2 aqui. Depois eu vou testar no emulador lá de Xbox.
More about Riddick here.
Yeah, so Riddick just...
Eu vou fazer uns testes no emulador de PS2 hoje, depois aqui do evento. Quem quiser acompanhar, cola lá na Twitch depois que eu acabar aqui. Quem tá no YouTube, né?
On your ammunition, so it wasn't just you go in guns blazing or anything, right? You had to figure out how to
Esse jogo é legal, mas para completar as conquistas, na época eu só zerei mesmo.
And it was really, really smart how they put everything together. And this
Fala aí, Davi.
in particular,
eu tô pegando no BJ, cara.
during their teasers for it, and
O Archive.org, os downloads estão vindo tudo incompleto. Tem aquele arquivista lá que posta os negócios. Eu baixei a coleção dele, mas a primeira parte está faltando os jogos da letra B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Eu peguei no BJ, cara. No BJ tá vindo tudo completo. Eu baixei a coleção de PSP no BJ que tá faltando. Vieram 200 arquivos corrompidos. Aí eu tô pegando, no caso do PSP, eu tô pegando os jogos separados. Os que corromperam. Mas os de PS2 tá vindo tudo completo. O problema é que os jogos estão zipados. Pra zipar uma letra é 15 horas, né?
And Indiana Jones seems like it might be the same way. Like clearly the whip is going to be your primary melee weapon, other than just we saw some fisticuffs in that gameplay demonstration as well. But I suspect gunplay is not going to be a huge part of Indiana Jones here, because Indy's not, this isn't going to be a first-person shooter. I mean, I think that much is clear.
As armas do Chronicles of Riddick, que elas têm... são reconhecidas por impressão digital, né? Quando o carinha pega, ele toma choque.
I was like, oh, we don't want to see Indy murder anyone today? All right, fine. I was kind of hoping to, but sure. All right. Also, real quick, from Max, he made a list of some callbacks and Easter eggs. So there was the Wilhelm scream when pulling the Nazi off the ledge. Dr. Marcus Brody will appear, and the spider running up Indy's arm when reaching into the hole was reminiscent of Temple of Doom. So there are some little love letters to Indy fans there. I'm gonna admit, I am gonna have to go back and rewatch them because it has been so long since I've seen the movies.
Yeah. They nailed, and the other part of that I thought they really nailed is the humor.
Todos nós.
Even those small pieces, I think that's a big part of the indie series, and that character is getting those moments where you balance between.
Cara, o BJ você só entra com convite ou tem que pagar uma taxa lá para entrar. Mas é o melhor site para torrent.
And also, like, some of the stealthy pieces, I wanted to see a little bit more of that.
Eu recebi um convite de um amigo meu há uns anos atrás, só que se você ficar 90 dias sem baixar, sem entrar no site, sem compartilhar nada, você perde o acesso. Aí eu paguei lá uma taxa de R$60 para entrar. Tem que fazer uma doação para eles para você poder usar. A taxa para entrar no BJ é R$30, mas você tem que doar com Bitcoin. Eu não tenho Bitcoin. Aí tem que comprar Bitcoin e transferir para os caras lá. Tem um passo a passo lá na página deles. É bem de boa. Eu não sei mexer com Bitcoin, mas eu entro lá, compro. Já é a segunda vez que eu faço a doação para eles lá. Vale muito a pena, cara. Tem muita coisa. Eu peguei lá o... Crise... o Vanzi, saiu Crise nas Infinitas Terras, parte 1, a animação da DC. Não sei se tá na HBO Max já, mas eu peguei lá para compartilhar.
Darksiders 3 maybe too. I'm being a little voice in my ear but was that first person though, Darksiders 3? No, yeah, it wasn't first person, so that doesn't count, but yeah, it's just everything about this reveal made me happy. I came in with very high expectations. I mean, I guess before we talk about the other super awesome piece of this, which is that it's coming out this year, and I do want to sort of discuss that and what it means for this year of Xbox. I kind of want to just go around.
Eu tô querendo ver também. Eu baixei aqui.
Expectations for indie coming in, just knowing the pedigree of the studio and whatever you thought this game was going to be, and did this reveal meet them?
Fala aí, Zach. O pessoal falou aí.
How you feeling, Khalif?
Yeah, I think it met all of those expectations. My only worry for this game was around, is this IP old enough that the generation that we are now in will just have forgotten it or not have it won't have any relevancy to it. And I think now getting a chance to see what the gameplay looks like, what the visuals look like, all of those pieces, I think that's how you bridge that gap, where even if you didn't have that kind of, fandom or that feeling of what does this mean to you, and what does Indy mean to you as a character? Just looking at it from a game perspective, it looks like a AAA, very highly polished video game that you would want to check out no matter who you might be. And I think they've probably figured out that gap in between that relevancy and what we know in that fandom. So very, very excited for that. And I think they absolutely hit every expectation that I had. So super excited for that.
How about you, Stella? Where were you coming in?
Eu espero que a campanha desse Indiana Jones ela tenha pelo menos o mesmo tamanho do Wolfenstein New Order. É uma campanha robusta, torço para que não seja uma campanha curta, estilo Call of Duty, né? Campanha de 6 horas aí.
So you don't put, pressure on them.
Uma campanha de pelo menos 15 horas aí seria interessante. E eu espero que eles consigam manter a aparência do Harrison Ford para os próximos, né, para as futuras sequências. O Harrison Ford ele é meio complicado, um ator meio complicado, né?
I don't know, the push for him to be exploring here, right? And I think you did say that this was going to take place between 2 of the movies, which is really cool. But yeah, I am coming out of this with a few more questions, and I want to know how this is really going to look like when it comes
Agora
out.
eu tô com vontade de assistir os filmes, velho.
Yeah, for me, story is always really big. So story and combat.
Destin, how about you? Where were you coming in? How you feeling now?
I came in with very low expectations,
Valeu.
not thinking that I would
ASD bra.
particularly like Indiana Jones, and it is by far my favorite thing from the developer direct.
Blado.
I am tremendously excited to see more of this game. And one thing we didn't talk about are the locations that he's going to be visiting.
Yes.
Right away, something is stolen, and he has to go to Rome. And then he goes to a jungle area. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the location that he goes to. He goes to the Egypt pyramids, and he goes to the Himalayan mountains. So you got a green location, a sandy location, a snow location, and a city location just in this trailer alone. So he's going to be
There
going.
was a Zeppelin in there too. I'm sure we're going to be getting to fight on one of those.
Yeah. So not only is it going to be visually diverse, which is just amazing, but its integration of puzzles is also really, really exciting to me. It made me think of, I've had Legacy of Kain on the brain right away, which mixes these little combat sections with puzzle sections. And I haven't really played a game like that in a long time. So to see Indy, just everything about the tone of this, I'm just like, this is exactly how I would want an indie game to be. It's perfect for the character, and it's perfect for those combat encounters, and very, very stoked afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I came in with pretty high expectations given everything that this studio has achieved already, and I would say I'm even on a higher cloud 9. It might be a cloud 10 after this. I could not have asked for a better gameplay reveal than that. I love how many how much of the soul of Riddick is in this, and in addition to the technological achievements going on too. Like, this is a beautiful looking game. I think it's super significant. What one of you mentioned it earlier. I think it's quite significant that they licensed Harrison Ford's likeness for this. Like, so they didn't just get like a kind of not quite Harrison Ford look. Like, it's him.
Eu imaginei o seguinte: o jogo vai ser em primeira pessoa e você não vai conseguir ver o rosto do Indiana Jones. Eu imaginei que fosse ser assim. Igual aquele filme da Amazon, Air, que aparece o Michael Jordan só de costas. Olha o Michael Jordan ali, aparece só a nuca. Eu achei, bom, o jogo vai ser em primeira pessoa, a gente não vai ver a cara do Indiana Jones. Igual acontece no Doom, nos Dooms antigos, por exemplo. Muito legal terem... Uma das partes que eu mais gostei do último filme foi o início do filme, esse último Indiana Jones. Que eles fizeram aquela tecnologia de rejuvenescer o Harrison Ford. Pô, eu achei aquilo sensacional. Eu vi umas pessoas reclamando, mas eu achei aquele começo do filme, que é na pegada dos antigos, eu achei muito legal. Aí depois o filme vai ladeira abaixo, infelizmente. Pra quem reclamou do Indiana Jones e A caveira de cristal.
At the art direction change from the gameplay
Aquele último, esse último.
last year relative to the sort of CG first person tone piece that we got at the actual announcement of this back in 2020. So now that you've seen some gameplay.
Então tivemos o Avowed prometido pro final do ano.
Better than that original gameplay teaser that they showed.
Eu acho que o Avowed vai ser um game divertido, mas ele não me empolgou. É um game que eu quero jogar, mas não faço questão. Hellblade 2 parece promissor, eu tava esperando mostrarem um pouco mais, já que o Hellblade 2 tá tão em cima, né? Maio, fevereiro, março, abril. Faltando 4 meses pro lançamento do game. Parece que eles querem mostrar, mas ao mesmo tempo não querem mostrar o Hellblade 2. Mas fico feliz de ter uma data, pelo menos ao contrário do Stalker, por exemplo, que parece que foi adiado indefinidamente, até por causa da guerra na Ucrânia. Lembrando que não se pode falar guerra, não se pode falar arma, não se pode falar suicídio, não se pode... Como é que o pessoal vai jogar Suicide Squad se não pode falar nada disso no YouTube? YouTube, pau no seu cu, YouTube. Essa censura de não poder falar e vocês não entregarem o vídeo para as pessoas, até para os próprios inscritos do canal. Quero que o YouTube se exploda. Pau no cu do YouTube. Não pode falar nada. Você vê um monte de canal que os caras vão falar um negócio pi, 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 pi. Que porra é essa, cara? Censura. Tipo, não posso dar minha opinião. Uma coisa é divulgar mentira, fake news, essas merda. Outra coisa é você querer censurar palavras. Não tem sentido nenhum.
Troy Baker is voicing Indiana Jones, so kudos to Troy for a fantastic Harrison Ford impression. That is 2 thumbs up. He's playing someone besides Troy Baker in a game this time, which is nice to see. All right, back to Avowed. Khalif, your thoughts on this one?
I am not voiced by Troy Baker, but
you probably could be though. He's that good.
He's that
Avowed.
good. It looks great. I think
Hellblade teve o Ara.
Is ditto on everything that
Araraquara.
in the combat. The one
É um game que eu acho que vai cair bem no PC, mas eu acho que o PC já está muito bem servido desse gênero de game e pode preencher ali no nicho dos RTS da galera e tal, pode cair no gosto ou não, mas é um mercado bem complicado, já que tem muita opção no mercado, né? Essa pegada. Se tratando de console, eu acho que o Ara não é um jogo tão interessante. E a grande surpresa, o Indiana Jones, eu já estava meio sem expectativa, né? Mas na mão do pessoal responsável pelo Wolfenstein, embora aquele Youngblood seja uma merda, pelo que foi mostrado aqui na Direct, fiquei muito feliz, cara. Voltar a ficar animado com Xbox, cara.
Stella, your thoughts on Avowed?
Yeah, I think the environments look gorgeous. It makes me miss Outer Worlds, and I want Outer Worlds 2 already, which I'm so sad we didn't get a look at today, which is fine, I guess. I'll wait. But yeah, I think the combat is the thing that I'm getting stuck on. I don't mind going through a game just for the story. Like if there's a good narrative, I'm into it. But the combat does look a little bit stiff. Like Ha said, we talked about this during the show when we were watching. And it's interesting because even the wand and the sword play looked a little bit similar. But yeah, there was something about, I was mentioning it, I think it's the FOV or something that makes it seem a little bit off. Maybe because I play on 100 FOV or something like that. But it's the way the arms are positioned. It almost looks like your character's just very stiff and like 90-degree angles, right? So I think that's something that's throwing it off, but the voice acting was really good, and I was very surprised by how well the conversation seemed to flow. So I'm very interested to see the different things that you can choose, which is very nice, but I feel like that should come standard with any role-playing game, right? You should always have freedom of choice with character. You should always be able to approach different scenarios with, you know, your personality, with whatever you want to play with. So I'm really interested in that. I want to see how far that'll go. I want to know how many endings there are, what quest lines you can mess up. And yeah, I'm very interested in this. I think from the beginning of when they showed the teaser to the first trailer, my expectations have kind of gone up for this game. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, not quite sure where I sit with Avowed right now. I liked what we saw today, but I'm definitely, it kind of looked like a Skyrim total conversion to me. And I say that and I'm not saying that as a criticism or a compliment necessarily. It's just kind of what it reminded me of, and the combat that you all just mentioned is really kind of where it comes down to. I would agree very much that lack of responsiveness from the creatures. There's sort of no, you know, animations when they've been hit, is like, I don't know if that still works for me in 2024, whereas it did in 2011 when Skyrim came out. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. I mean, again, you know, you all covered it. Obsidian, we're going to get a great story. We're going to get some really cool quest options and character interactions. And as Khalif was saying, the worlds, the environments in this are absolutely gorgeous. And that's, to me, a first-person RPG. If you're delivering fantastical, beautiful environments in that first-person role-playing game, like, you've got me. Like, I'm in. I'm totally good. I'm gonna have a great time. So yeah, I'm kind of curious how this will actually, like, kind of feel to sit down and play with, you know, versus just watching gameplay. But yeah, super solid, and fall 2024 for this one, and just later in 2024 for indie. Which, if I were to take an educated guess, I would probably guess that means they're not quite ready to narrow in on indie yet. Like, they're not quite sure if they're going to need maybe a couple more months of polish. Like, maybe they're aiming for September, but it could slip to November. So we'll see on indie. But we know we've got Avowed in the fall to look forward to. So we're going to be. I mean, we can talk more at the end, but right now we're looking at May for Hellblade 2, which we're going to talk about next. And then towards the end of the year, Avowed and Indiana Jones. So already it is January 18th as we record this. We already have like 2 exclusives set to go for fall 2024, in addition to one in the spring with Hellblade 2. In fact, let's just go right into Hellblade 2 now.
Agora, pessoal do chat.
We are on the clock a little bit here.
Com esses games anunciados aí, vocês acham que algum desses games tem condições de concorrer a jogo do ano? Se o Indiana Jones for tudo que tá prometendo, na minha opinião, a Avowed esquece. A Avowed eu acho que é aquele jogo mediano. Hellblade, espero que sim, cara. Indiana Jones tá muito legal. Bom, pra mim não sofrer sozinho, vamos assistir a porra toda, né? Agora com a qualidade melhor.
Hej och välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine Games. We are really excited.
Vai depender também, o Vanzi,
Indiana Jones.
O que vai ter de lançamento relevante nas outras plataformas esse ano. Esse ano parece ser um ano bem fraco pro PlayStation, né? Tem o Final Fantasy, né?
In this game, you aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones. You will see through his eyes and experience a journey that we hope lives up to the proud legacy of Indiana Jones.
O que tem esse ano pro PlayStation?
First told us about his vision for the game, we knew we would be a very good fit to help bring it to life.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever. I'd had this idea for what it would be like and the story, what Indy was going after, what period of his life it was in, what kind of arc he was going to have. And as the years went on, I thought, who would be like the best studio in the world to make this? And it was my friends at Machine Games. I can remember pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because, look, it's, Indiana Jones, and their response was just overwhelmingly positive and just that
Agradeçam ao Wendel que me mandou o link aqui.
And they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything.
Vamos apreciar a dublagem.
It's been a long time.
Eu acredito que não vai ser a dublagem final, né?
And I couldn't be more excited
vamos ver
to
aí.
show you what the team here has been up to. Let's take our first look at the new Indiana Jones game.
Indiana Jones.
Permita-me contar o que você não entende, Dr. Jones. Enquanto você brincava no seu jogo inútil, eu fiz você jogar o meu. Você deve estar pensando se deveria ter buscado algum outro propósito na vida.
Saudade.
Em vez de acabar aqui, morto e esquecido nas areias da África.
Saudade quando os dubladores botavam o sotaquezinho alemão, né? África.
Mitos. História.
História.
Só formas diferentes de interpretar o passado.
História.
Milhares de anos de ideias e crenças da humanidade dispersos e enterrados. Esperando ser
dublar o rato, pô. Piu, piu.
Encontrados. Você não pode fugir dos seus problemas, Indiana. Tem certeza?
Quem dublou essa porra?
Ao longo da história, a humanidade construiu lugares de importância espiritual. Se você desenhar uma linha passando por esses locais ancestrais no mundo, terá um círculo perfeitamente
pra dublar assim é melhor não dublar não, velho. Essa é uma dublagem temporária, pessoal. Acho que não é dublagem final, não.
Já me encontrei com esses caras antes. Confie em mim.
É possível.
Não é uma tarefa fácil.
Vejamos se você me acompanha.
O que você quer dizer com isso?
Polishop, velho. Aquela dublagem Polishop. Eu consigo ouvir o chicote instalando do outro lado da sala. Sonic 2000.
Padroeiro dos anjos caídos. Protetor do... Círculos Magnos. O grande círculo.
Uau! É igual o cachorro. É igual o cachorro do. do Kung Po, né? Oh!
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character, and he means so much to so many people. Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years. He's a brilliant archaeologist, he's a charismatic everyman, he's passionate and determined. And for us, he's synonymous with adventure.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience. Our game is all about putting you in Indy's shoes, letting you see and feel what he sees and
Eu acho que
feels.
o pessoal da Bethesda Brasil fez essa dublagem só para preencher a lacuna do trailer de divulgação. Eu acredito que o game final vai ter uma dublagem melhor. Eu espero, né?
Making each action feel like your own.
O preço do jogo é assinar o Game
Whether
Pass,
it's
cara.
cracking your whip,
Ou você compra no Eneba.
ancient temples, or seeing your knuckles go bloody in a fist fight. All of these
Agora,
moments
você
are
vê
much more intense
por
in
que eu
first
nunca
person.
abordei o assunto Eneba aqui no canal. Eu fiz a brincadeira do pessoal comprar o Visions of Mana no Eneba. Já tinha idiota lá no YouTube se doendo.
We pull the camera back for a
Você fala uma coisa, o cara entende o que ele quer no mundo do pirulito dele lá. Em nenhum momento eu critiquei o Eneba aqui. E as pessoas que compram no Eneba. Eu fiz uma brincadeira. Falei, pô, comprar no Eneba que é mais barato. O cara já tava se doendo lá no YouTube. O cara, ele... Aí eu fico aqui igual um maluco achando que eu falei uma coisa que eu não falei, tá ligado? Falei mal do Eneba. Tô ficando louco.
Following the trail, Indiana heads to the Vatican, hoping to learn why this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things aren't what they appear.
He starts pulling at the strings
O
of
Indiana Jones ele tem duas dublagens no Brasil.
no choice but to
A
see it
última
through to
dublagem
the
eu acho que foi aquele
whatever
cara
the
que
end may be.
dublou o He-Man. Ele deu uma entrevista bem legal pro Vilela. Como é que é o nome dele?
We always talk about how clever Indiana Jones is.
Como é que é o nome daquele cara, Vance, que dublava o Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Thinking about the type of game we were making. It wouldn't be indie if it
Acho que a
wasn't
voz dele ficaria boa nesse jogo.
The most authentic Indiana
Eu acho que ele fez a última dublagem do Indiana
is
Jones.
the one that makes you think first.
Sure, there will be some obstacles that will be more easily overcome with the revolver or a gun taken from a
Valeu,
disarmed guard.
fecha.
But I think most of the time you'll have more fun
Garcia
and, to be
Jr.
honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always want to be offering more
Coloca o Garcia
solutions,
Jr.
whether
pra,
it's trying a different path through the
pra
environment,
dirigir a
to get
dublagem,
around
né?
enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage, or using the tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's an amazing global adventure with action propelling you through your journey.
We have these really
Ah, é o
diverse
Briggs,
environments
então.
for you to explore.
Eu tô confundindo,
Indy's
então.
journey will take him to the forgotten temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt, the snow-peaked Himalayas,
A
and
última
beyond.
vez que a gente assistiu Indiana Jones aqui dublado,
At each location and the time period.
eu acho que era a voz do Briggs.
And we're trying to make it as authentic and accurate as possible.
We love creating rich, vibrant worlds, and in this game, we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
One of the biggest ways to do that is with the music. John Williams is the original composer for the indie films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
We also take a very movie-like approach to things like cinematics. We're very physical with our production style. We use a lot of stunt actors. Things like this help us bridge the gap between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to
Vou
life
ver
as
se no
well.
BJ.
Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is
Vou ver
pursuing
se no
answers just for the
BJ
sake of
tem
curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting
Indiana
to the
Jones com
bottom
a
of the core
dublagem
mystery.
clássica.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an
Na
ally,
verdade,
this determined
eu
American
prefiro
professor.
ver legendado, né?
Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
Fight. What do you mean if I can keep up?
We always love our villains and think we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both
Fiction dublado,
brilliant
não
people
tem como.
compelled by their passions and obsessions, but driven down wildly different roads.
Inclusive, eu tava vendo, eu tava revendo Pulp Fiction, cara.
It's captivating.
Acho que segunda ou terça-feira dublado, não tem como.
Of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is adventure first. But in every indie adventure, there are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been one of those balancing acts for us, and we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
How you approach any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits, you got Indie's most iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purposed as possible. We want it integrated into every aspect of the game.
You can use it as a traversal tool to make your way around the environment. You can use it as a distraction. And yes, you can absolutely use it in combat. Everything you'd expect from Indie's whip, and hopefully a little bit more. Puzzles are a key feature in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Machine Games is known for creating these rollercoaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists, and immersive narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay so true to the Indiana Jones franchise and create such an authentic experience while still being able to showcase what makes us us. We are making a game for everyone, whether you are very familiar with the franchise or not. Because at the heart of Indiana Jones is an incredible adventure, and I think that's something everyone wants to be part of. I'm also very excited to announce that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year, and we cannot wait to share more soon.
Ele devia ter pego o ídolo dourado ali, deixado o Starfield. Ele deveria vir com o Starfield numa mão e pegar o ídolo dourado e colocar o Starfield no lugar. Ou botar a cabeça daquela armadura do Fallout. Caraca, velho. Isso aí deve... O pessoal deve estar colocando na lista de desejo da Steam massivamente, né? Bom, então é isso aí, pessoal. Eu vou testar alguns emuladores aqui no Xbox. Eu tô aguardando sair o The Last of Us 2 Remastered, mas eu acho que só vou conseguir jogar amanhã. E amanhã tem o Cine DK, né? Eu não posso deixar de fazer o Cine DK também. Mas a vontade de ficar jogando The Last of Us é grande. Valeu, senhor Marroco. O foda que eu fiquei jogando BF1 até 8h30 da manhã, cara. Dormi pouco. Dormi 4 horas. Tô cheio de sono. Amanhã tem o Cine DK às 8. Sábado a gente continua a Vinland Saga aqui na Twitch e depois Cine DK Comédia. Tô pensando em fazer a maratona Ben Stiller. Não vou. Eu prefiro tentar dormir cedo e acordar cedo amanhã pra jogar o The Last of Us do que jogar o game com sono. Eu tô pensando em tirar as quintas-feiras pra fazer maratona do 007. O que vocês acham? Assistir todos os filmes do 007. Dominerd, obrigado pela raid aí, velho. Fala aí, tava acompanhando o evento do Xbox também, cara? Ah, aquele acampamento dos gordinhos, o Ben Stiller, ele é meio que um... Ele não é o principal, né? Mas eu tava a fim de rever o Quem Vai Ficar com Mary, aquele Duplex. Pô, esse Duplex é um filme foda, cara. É. Acho que você não viu a dublagem, né? Vamos compartilhar com o mundo, né?
Look at the new Indiana Jones game.
Permita-me contar o que você não entende, Dr. Jones. Enquanto você brincava no seu jogo inútil...
Dublado por José, velho.
Eu fiz você jogar o meu. Você deve estar pensando se deveria ter buscado algum
Louro José.
propósito na vida.
Fala, Alexandre.
Em vez de acabar aqui...
Tem que pegar o chocolate aí, cara.
Esquecido nas areias da África.
Mitos. História. Só formas diferentes.
Essa é muito boa. História.
Mitos.
História.
História.
Caralho.
Só formas diferentes de interpretar o passado.
Estão desovando os chocotones, velho.
Milhares de anos de ideias e crenças da humanidade dispersos e enterrados. Esperando serem encontrados.
História.
Você não pode fugir dos seus problemas, Indiana.
História.
Tem certeza?
Caralho! Ele vai me vender alguma coisa da Polishop, não é possível, cara. É aquele aparelho abdominal.
Fica. A humanidade construiu lugares de importância espiritual.
Tem certeza? Abdominal, Indiana Jones. Indiabs.
Terá um círculo perfeitamente alinhado.
Valeu, Indominerd. Obrigado pela raid aí, velho. Eu fiquei muito animado com esse Indiana Jones, cara. Muito bom.
Já me encontrei com esses caras antes. Confie em mim. Não é uma tarefa fácil.
Vejamos se você me acompanha.
O que você quer dizer com isso?
It's a lot of nuts!
Padroeiro dos anjos caídos. Protetor do... Círculos Magnos.
É o Harrison Skin Cariol.
O grande círculo.
A grande rodela.
Você sabe quantos anos isso tinha?
Champolas.
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character, and he means so much to so many people. Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years. He's a brilliant archaeologist, he's a charismatic...
Bom, é isso, pessoal. A live continua na Twitch aí, quem quiser acompanhar. Eu vou testar os emuladores aqui no meu Xbox, no modo Developer. Quem quiser acompanhar aí, eu baixei uns games de PS2 e o que eu tô fazendo aqui? Castlevania Champone. Champone é inesquecível. Então eu vou encerrar a live no YouTube, tá, pessoal? Obrigado aí pela companhia. Quem quiser trocar uma ideia aí também, a live continua na Twitch. Um abraço e contando os dias pro lançamento do Indiana Jones. Hellblade também. Mas o Indiana Jones me deixou chicote.